Hey everybody, I got something special for us today. Today's video is going to be all about a Martin guitar. If you're into guitars, you know kind of what a big deal those acoustic guitars are. Kind of best on the market. Martin and Taylor, Breedlove, all great guitars. Larry, a customer of mine, brought this in just for kind of a little string change and a checkup. Not really a setup. We're going to check the fretboards. We'll check the frets. We'll change the strings, but I really wanted to walk through the steps of just changing the strings on a Martin guitar. Same steps you would take on any other acoustic, really. Little subtle things about a Martin that's a little bit different, but all in all, should be a very good video. So here we go. Man, this thing is just absolutely gorgeous. Not the first time I've had it in the shop. This guy is a pretty loyal customer of mine. His name is Larry, super guy. But we are going to take care of just a string change tonight, is all he's asking for. Fretboard is looking really good. Beautiful piece of dark rosewood with some pearl inlays, and the guitar is inlaid all the way around. Even the back is nice and inlaid. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous guitar. Hey everybody, this is John with Smoke Eater Guitars. We're saving rock and roll one guitar at a time. I want to take a moment to kind of share with you guys what liking and subscribing does for the channel. We do a lot of charity work for new students, for young kids that are trying to learn guitar. A lot of those kids can't afford a real expensive guitar, or even the repairs of a starter guitar. So by you liking and subscribing, it helps us keep those costs down. Do your part. Help save rock and roll one guitar at a time. We're going to be doing some string changes, so I'm going to bring you down to the bridge. Kind of show you a few things at the bridge. But while I'm working on the bridge, and you're going to be focused on the bridge, I'm going to also be working at the headstock, just loosening strings at this point. So, all right. So we're going to be working on the bridge a little bit. I'll show you a few tricks when it comes to dealing with these pins and how these are supposed to set and everything. So I'm going to loosen up the E string first. So you're going to hear some whining. That's just me with my winding tool here, loosening up this string. Loosening it up to the point I can take it off the post at this time, because we know we're going to be removing it. These pins have a groove in them. I'm right under the ball. And I have a tool to pull those pins out. All right, so this is the pin we're going to be pulling out, this E string pin. So if I were to take this and put it where it is and utilize the bridge itself as my lever point, I could scar up this part of the bridge. I think I can get some more light in for you. All right, that's minimal. I could scar up this wood right behind that pin. So what I end up doing, there's a couple of tricks I can show you on this. You could take just a ruler and set it on the bridge and press against that, because then all the weight is going to be distributed and it'll just pop out, right? So I'll put my finger in there and kind of just use my finger to leverage and pick them up. So I'm put it back down. This is where it was sitting. Use my finger as a pivot point underneath that wood, so I know it's not hitting, and it just pops right out. Nice and easy. So what you want to make sure you're doing there is you want to make sure you are not pressing that tool against this wood and scarring that wood. All right, so that's string number one. Let's go with string number two. Now, all he really asked for was a string change. He plays this guitar religiously, so we're not really looking for setting the action or anything like that. We're just going to take the strings off. So we're looking at the fretboard a little bit better. So I'm going to get the strings out of the way. You could definitely need some cleaning. I wouldn't say his frets, they're not like filthy dirty, but they could definitely use some cleaning. So in other videos, I talked about these nail polishers. Another great thing about these nail polishers, if you just need one side of this, you can actually just pull it off of the pad itself This is number 4. This is just the polisher. Has almost no roughness to it at all. But what it does do a good job is allow me to come in here and just kind of polish over the top of these frets real quick. And see how much dirt is coming off? So we're just going to polish over the top of these. Or just one of these pads cost me about 50 cents, to be honest with you. So just using this pad, the polishing side of this pad, we clean those frets and man, they feel night and day, really. So a little quick tip, if you have these nail polishing pads, if you went out and bought some because I told you to, this is a new kind of technique that you may be able to use. If you just need, let's say, side 3 and 4, just pull that little side off and you can use it and get kind of a little bit more detailed with it. If you need all 4 sides, leave it all together and do it that way, or if you just need side 1, it's an option, right? You can just pull off the side. All right, we're gonna put a little bit of oil on this. I'm just gonna use the Dunlap 65. It's a lemon oil. What I do is I just go around and get plenty on the board, and then I'll go back with a paper towel and wipe all that off. Well, I'm not really wiping it off, I'm rubbing it in. There's several products you can use for this, and I've shown them in other videos. But you can't beat that Dunlap 65. It's for the money, it's pretty good. It's so common, they have them pretty much everywhere. Every guitar center, every guitar shop, you can get them online. And it's just lemon oil. You can actually go and buy some of that Old English lemon oil. It's the same stuff. Same exact stuff. A lot cheaper. But this one smells good. So does the lemon oil, the Old English, but this one smells like a guitar, you know what I mean? So we got plenty of that lemon oil on there. Let it sit for just a second, let it soak in as much as it needs to soak in. You know, it's only gonna absorb as much as it needs to in a short amount of time. You're not gonna overhydrate it if you leave it. If I walked away from this and let it sit for an hour or so, it's not gonna hurt anything. So I wiped it once, got all the big stuff off, and now we're gonna go back and really rub it in good. So after I get done, here's a little pro tip for you too. So after I get done, I put the oil on the neck, I go back and wipe all the big stuff off, and then I give it a final wipe. So after I get done with my final wipe, there's a little bit of that oil still on the towel, and it's not over abundance. And it's a good time to use that to just clean up your bridge, because you're not really putting a whole lot on there. It's just getting all the nice dust and finger sweat and everything off that bridge. And it turns it a nice deep color too. So if you could tell, that's a beautiful color now. I will tell you, this is probably, of all my customers' guitars, this is my favorite. This is absolutely, every time he tells me, hey, I got my Martin, I need new strings or a setup or something on it, I kind of, puts me in a good mood, because I really like this guitar. If I had the money to buy any guitar, any acoustic guitar, this would be it. This is kind of my dream here. So knowing that it's my dream, you can tell that I would really enjoy working on this guitar. So we got that done. We got the neck polished, or the frets polished, cleaned, really, not a deep polish. Oiled up the neck, we oiled up the bridge. Next thing we're gonna do is kind of clean that body up a little bit. So I'll just get some of my guitar detailer from Music Nomad. Works really good. Dunlap makes a good product also. But I just spritz this. Not enough to get it super wet, just to mist it. And then I'll wipe this off. Now this is the preliminary cleaning. This isn't really the detailed cleaning, just a preliminary. So when we put the strings on, there won't be anything underneath the strings. So this wasn't meant to be like a detail. This is just to get the big stuff off. Okay, it's time for strings. I know this is going to be a real short video, just because changing strings doesn't take a whole lot of effort. So I didn't want this to be a real long video. I wanted it to be kind of short to show you that you guys that are beginners, don't be afraid. Man, pick up your guitar, and if it needs new strings, change the strings. It's not hard at all. It's actually a very easy process. So, okay, so what I did while I was talking right there, what I did is line up all my tuners. This guitar actually taught me that if you have short shafted tuners, don't pull so far back when you set your strings. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. But first, I want to talk about the right way to use these pins. So let's get our first string out here. He uses Martin strings on a Martin guitar. I bought him a new nut. I believe I replaced this nut once. And he wanted to make sure that I went back with a Martin nut. There we go. No glare. All right, so when you're putting these pins in, there's a method to this madness. When your finished product should look like this. All right. So your ball shouldn't be sitting at the end. Have you ever played a guitar and you pluck the string or something, this pin went flying? It's because this ball is at the very end. It should actually sit here. So make sure whenever, way I do this is there's a groove on these. There you go, you can see it. There's a groove on those, right? So I set that groove toward the string and I put my string in all the way till about where the winds come back up. So where they put the string around the ball and they twist it on itself, those winds, I put that string down about to where those winds are. And when I put my pin in, I pull that string up. And now I can pull straight up on that pin, or straight up on that string, and that pin's not going to pull up on it. Let me show you that one more time with the next string. So again, these are those winds I'm talking about, where it goes around the ball and then comes back on itself. I'm going to put that string about to where those winds stop. I'm going to line my groove up with the string. And I press down, and now that is not coming back up. Some guys will put all the strings on the pin and then go up to the tuners and do it. I don't do it that way. They seem to be get in my way when I do it that way. So, all right, so we're going to be stringing this string up here. So we got it pinned on the back side, and we got the pin in right. What you want to do is go through the hole. Once I get it through that hole, typically what I'll do is put my finger here and pull it back all the way to like 1.5 frets. We're only going to go 1 fret because these are short shafted shafts. So we're only going to come back 1 fret. And what I like to do is just start turning with my finger kind of holding against this fret. So when I get to this part of the wind, make sure my string goes under first. And then once it goes around just a little bit more, I'll bend that string upward because the rest of the winds I want to go below. So I stop right here. I make sure the string is going underneath the last wind. And that's how I do a string. So 1 fret back. The first time you wind it, you make sure the tail goes underneath this. And then whenever you get that back around, you bend the tail up to make sure everything else goes under that. And it locks that string in place. And that's really all there is to restringing a guitar. Another pet peeve of mine is people that leave these tails on their guitar. For whatever reason, that is just, it bugs me. This little end is going to be sharp. So if you take your clippers that you used with the rubber end on it, you can actually bend that back, get it out of your way so it don't get you on the finger. So another use for these. All right, let me just show you that again. We're going to go through our next pin. Pull it nice and tight. If you notice, I lined all the holes up to face down the neck this way, down the neck. So put it through the hole, put your finger on the nut, pull the string and your finger back to that first fret. And you're going to hold pressure on that first fret in that string. Make sure it goes under, and it did. Okay, stop right here, bend this up. Make sure that's going underneath that wind, and then keep winding. Now we're going to clip it. And we're all set. So we got this vibration tuner we're going to be using tonight. So where y'all can see me. This is going to be a lot like just tuning any other guitar. All tuned. So one additional tip I'm going to show on this guitar that I haven't showed on many of my other videos is just how we're going to lubricate this nut. So I've got this Tune It nut lubricant. It's pretty simple and you don't have to use a whole lot. I normally just, after I tune it, I pick the string up out of the saddle or out of the nut, put just a little dab. Then I will get a toothpick, kind of work that, make sure that gets worked into the crack real good. The crack, it's the nut slot is what it is, it's not a crack. And then I'll get that string and put it back into that slot and just give it a little wipe. And I'll do this again with the B. Just take it out. Put just a little dab. Work that in real good with your toothpick. The reason I like using a toothpick on that is because if I accidentally use too much, I can utilize that toothpick on the next groove. The reason I wait till I tune it is because you want that lubricant to stay in place. If you lubricate that before you tune it, then your lubricant's all gonna, with the string, is gonna all be up here somewhere because you're tightening that string and it'll pull that lubricant. So I actually leave it after I tune it, I lube it. Then I'll just go take some paper towel. Just get the big stuff off, if there's any big stuff left. Then we're going to go through tuning it again. There is one other thing I could show you tonight. String stretching. I have a tool for that. It's a string stretcher. We covered how to manually stretch the strings in the past. What I find is that this works pretty good. I've got the ones with the rollers on it. They make another one without the rollers. But I like the ones with the rollers. It doesn't put as much friction. All you do is you put the back end on the bottom side of the string. Let me pull it up here. The back end on the bottom side, the top end on the top side of the string. And then you're not with a whole lot of force. You're just going to pick up and pull the back end, pull this end up toward the ceiling a little bit, not a whole lot. And it just stretches that string. I find about three times up and back, and that's all you really need. And you just move on to the next string. Again, you're not trying to put a whole lot of tension. You can over stretch strings. I'm just going right above those fret wires with my rollers. All right, and then I'll tune it up and it'll be ready to go. Guys, I appreciate you watching the video tonight. I know this is a short one, but I thought it was my favorite guitar, my favorite acoustic guitar in the world. If he ever dies, I hope he leaves it to me in his will. Not that I want him to die or anything, but like I said, one of my favorite guitars in the world. Sounds beautiful, plays beautifully. So I'm going to tune this thing up and call it a night. Thanks, guys.